Here we go, Laís.
Here we go. Se eu fosse sua mãe, eu estaria muito orgulhosa.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Não trouxe nenhum caderninho hoje.
Okay. We're ready when you're ready, I think.
I think we can start.
Good. Okay. Hello, everyone. Warm welcome to this press conference between Our Kids Climate and the Alana Institute. I'm Maya Mela, and I'm the co-director of Our Kids Climate, and it's a real pleasure to be here today with my fellow mothers, Laís and Catarina and Mary, Brazilian mums, amazing Brazilian mums, and another Catarina and Taissa. So this is an intergenerational moment between mums and kids. Our Kids Climate is a global network that supports mums, dads, grandparents, aunties, uncles to take action on the climate crisis in over 50 countries. And you'll hear more about the Alana Institute from Laís. It's a global organization based here in Brazil that does amazing work advocating for children's rights. We live, as we all know, in a difficult world, in a polarized world, you might say a scary world, but we believe that we have a superpower that we are bringing to COP30, and that is the power of love and the power of care that we have for our kids. I'm a mum of 3, and for all children. And this love isn't blind, it isn't naive, but it is very powerful. I see in my work with Our Kids Climate that mums and dads from India to Poland, from Australia, every day are taking action to protect what they love most, their children, their families, their neighborhoods. Mums in India are planting trees and monitoring the air in some of the world's most polluted cities. In Australia, parents are putting solar on schools. The same goes for South Africa. In Poland, Ghana, parents are creating pollution-free areas around schools. And that's just a snapshot of what's happening around the world. And we know we have to do this because we can't wait for governments, we can't wait for businesses. The climate crisis is urgent. It's affecting kids here and now, the air they breathe, their homes, and we're going to hear some stories about that today. So we act with love and care and determination for all our kids. And the good news, because we often don't tell good news, but the good news is that the majority of the world supports action on climate. And there's a whole number of scientific peer-reviewed studies that show that. There was a big report in a scientific journal called Nature, polling people in 125 countries, and over 80% of people globally want their governments to take stronger action on the climate crisis. Because who doesn't want clean air for their children? Who doesn't want nature to be protected? So we are the majority, even if sometimes we feel like we are in the minority. And we think it's very important to share those positive stories of change that are happening in Brazil and around the world. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Mary. Mary is a mother and a businesswoman from southern Brazil, and last year her family and her community were caught up in the devastating floods in Rio Grande do Sul, and at one point Mary found herself and her community stranded in a house for 3-4 days waiting for help to escape those floods. So Maddie, in your time, please tell us how you felt in that moment when the rain was pouring down and you were there with your family. And how does it feel 1 year on, reflecting back on that moment? And please just introduce yourself first again. Thank you.
My name is Mariana. I am part of the Parents for Future movement here in Brazil that we call Famílias, pelo Clima. And yes, I was there in Porto Alegre, actually in Eldorado do Sul, the city where I lived. And I know, Maya, that, of course, when we were there, our main feeling was fear, and with all that scary situation. And we was just thinking how we would survive. But after that, the moment that I was rescued by a helicopter from the roof of the place where we were, I felt very, very angry. I know that we are here to talk about love, but for me it was like very disappointing to realize how we are not prepared to face climate crisis. And my city was totally took by the water, and nobody was there to help us for the first 2 days, I think. So I realized that climate crisis is something that we are already paying the costs of the climate crisis. We are paying with our suffering, the suffering of our families and our communities, and also with our bank account, because we have to deal with all that by ourselves. And so my main feeling, I think that it's still angry because I'm not seeing things changing as fast as it could be. And 1 week ago, less than 1 week, a few days ago, you saw another city in Brazil being devastated by a tornado, something that never happened here. So I realized that we can't count on with our communities, with Brazilian people, for example. They were amazing, they were there to help us, but not on our leaders. That's my feeling.
Thank you, Maddie, and we're so sorry for what happened to you and your family and your community, losing your homes because of the floods. And that's happening all around the world, and children are paying the price, as Mary said. UNICEF estimated that last year in 2024, 250 million children, or 1 in 7 children, had their education disrupted because of heat waves, storms, floods, droughts. So we know that kids and those yet to be born are paying the price for a crisis they didn't cause, and we think that's a huge injustice. We're now going to turn to Taissa, who is a 15-year-old young girl from Brazil who's going to speak about her experiences. We're so delighted she's here. Over to you.
Katuxizi, aitashira taratukupi, aikakira neretama tururu cariúca, e kumisa, tona como era moquinei, kumista supocatara. Boa tarde a todos e a todas. Para quem ainda não me conhece, eu me chamo Taissa, sou indígena, sou do povo Omagua Kambeba, moro na aldeia Tururu Cariúca, sou do estado do Amazonas. E desde criança eu já cresci nesse movimento de mudança climática por conta do meu movimento indígena. E desde pequena eu já comecei nos movimentos juntos com meus pais, inclusive são uma das minhas maiores inspirações. Se eu estou aqui hoje, foi eles que lutaram para mim estar aqui. Então, desde pequena, a gente já participou das mobilizações em Brasília, acho que todos não conhecem, mas tem um acampamento Terra Livre, onde a gente reivindica nossos direitos de territórios, que é o que mais acontece. Inclusive, o meu território ele não é demarcado e a gente ainda está nesse processo. E essa é a minha terceira COP, fui para a COP 28, 29 e agora a 30. E todas essas três eu tive o espaço, né, para poder falar o que acontece e o que não acontece de fato dentro do meu território, de territórios vizinhos. E é algo muito importante, porque a gente vê o quão é complicado para nossas crianças elas estarem envolvidas nessas pautas. A gente sabe que é sobre nós, mas nós não estamos lá. Então não há ninguém melhor para falar da gente do que a gente mesmo, não é? Então a gente mobiliza os jovens da comunidade, a gente também tem a parte da comunicação lá dentro e a gente mostra para as pessoas de fora como é a realidade dentro de uma comunidade indígena. Porque todo mundo pensa totalmente diferente. Tipo, muitas pessoas já chegaram para mim e perguntaram se a gente só andava de tanga, se esse tipo de coisa. E a gente explica, né? Porque a gente precisa ter paciência para essas pessoas. E é até algo meio complicado de se falar. Então, a partir do momento que saímos do território em busca de estudo, em busca de melhoria, a gente sofre racismo. Eu tenho 15 anos apenas, mas várias coisas já aconteceu comigo. E eu estou resistindo porque eu quero que as minhas próximas gerações, elas não passem pelo que eu passei, sabe? Eu quero que as minhas próximas gerações, elas tenham um clima bom, um futuro bom, uma educação de qualidade, porque é o que a gente busca agora como jovem. Então eu penso bastante, não só no agora. Eu quero trabalhar o agora para que no futuro os meus filhos, os meus netos, eles possam ter um futuro bom, um futuro de qualidade. Então, os meus pais, eles sempre me incentivaram bastante. É uma parte muito tocante para mim, sabe? De poder, a minha criancinha de 10 anos atrás, poder estar aqui, poder ter um lugar para falar e pessoas que possam me entender e de alguma forma me ajudar, é muito gratificante. Porque eu sei o esforço que eles fizeram, o quanto eles queriam que eu tivesse nesses espaços. E eu sei que lá no fundo eles devem sentir orgulho. E sobre até a mesa que eu falei hoje mais cedo, sobre a questão da minha cultura, né? Meu avô, meu bisavô, ele já é falecido, mas eu tive a oportunidade de conhecer ele. E poucas pessoas sabem, mas eu cheguei a falar o português dos 5 para 6 anos, porque infelizmente a gente tem que falar o português para conversar com vocês, né? Então, eu cheguei a conhecer ele. E sabe, foi em momentos tão gratificantes, porque por um tempo o pessoal chegou a falar que o meu povo eles tinha deixado de existir. Sabe, é algo tão complicado de a gente estar ali resistindo, para chegar um momento e as pessoas falarem que o seu povo deixou de existir, que a sua cultura morreu, que a sua língua também morreu. Então foi uma grande assembleia que ele reivindicou e disse que não, que o povo Omagua Kambeba, ele existia, que ele ainda estava resistindo ali. E hoje a gente tem a nossa língua, a gente tem o nosso grafismo, nós temos a nossa ancestralidade, que é algo que eu gosto muito de falar para as pessoas, a minha cultura, o meu movimento, que é algo muito importante para mim, porque eu ligo uma coisa com a outra, o movimento indígena e a mudança climática, porque mudança climática tem a ver com a floresta, e eu moro dentro da floresta, é o meu território. Então, assim, eu me sinto muito, ai gente, muito orgulhosa, sabe, de poder ter conhecido também essas pessoas maravilhosas. O pessoal do Instituto Alana me proporcionou momentos maravilhosos, assim, gratificantes. E eu fico até um pouco emocionada de poder saber que tem pessoas assim, sabe, que escutam, que gostam de ajudar a gente de alguma forma. Então, acho que é sobre isso, é sobre vocês escutarem as nossas crianças, os nossos adolescentes. A gente está com uma grande expectativa para essa COP, foi uma COP que a gente estava almejando, que é a nossa COP das crianças, e que a gente quer pautar, a gente quer colocar nossas crianças, nossa juventude em momentos como esse, porque a gente sabe que é importante escutar cada um delas, cada um tem uma experiência diferente, um conhecimento diferente, e eu sei que aqui dentro a gente pode fazer essa troca de conhecimentos. Tito Manito, muito obrigada.
Laís is going to summarize.
Just
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Laís. I work for Alana, the global organization based in Brazil. I'm just going to summarize now what Taissa has just said. And she's saying that her parents were a huge inspiration for her. Since she was a child, they were activists, doing a lot of activism for her territory. And she really feels that even now her territory is still like thread in a bit. And she thinks that she really wants to work now in the present to guarantee the future for the children. As like her, it's like working really hard to guarantee for the next generation. And she's very happy to be able to have her voice heard, because not necessarily as a child she has the opportunity to share her ideas and share her concerns. And she also mentioned about her grandfather, that was because at some point she heard that her tribe and her culture would not last for a long time. But now she's here, so she gets really touched because her grandfather fought a lot for that. And the fact that she lives in the forest, it's extremely connected to climate change. So she feels that she has a very important role in this COP for now. It's the third COP that she's participating, and she's very proud of that.
Thank you, Laís, and here's to intergenerational activism and solidarity. We're now going to go to Catarina, the mother, and then Catarina, the young woman here. So over to the Catarinas.
Hey everybody, very good to be here with you all today. I am Catarina Nefertari. I am from Amazonia de Pé movement. I'm also Elena's mom, who is 10 years old, and she's on vacation because all kids here in Belém are on vacation during COP. And the main topic that I want to talk to you about is how is my experience in being a mom here in Belém, a city from Amazon, but the urban area from Amazon, and what are the challenges that we face in our daily lives. So we know that we are working in a huge campaign that will rise in the next months, where we claim for clean air, but also for clean rivers for our kids to play. Here in Belém, we live in a city surrounded by water, and most of this water are polluted. And most of the air are also, we can't measure the damage that the air quality that we have here in Amazon. We don't have this data so clearly. So this lack of measure of things, it's hard to deal with, because if we don't have data, we don't have how to claim our rights. So my main concern nowadays is that my daughter, Elena, won't have clean rivers to play. She won't be able to take bath on the rivers that I used to take. So what can I do now? How can I mobilize other parents here in Belém so we can fight together and claim this touch with nature, that it's so important for us to connect with our ancestors and with our culture too. So I think COP being here, it's a huge opportunity for us to call attention on this topic and for us to reinforce ourselves. And I really believe we can finish COP and be stronger in this topic. So now we are living the COP with our children at home because they are on vacation. And I hope that when COP ends, we will be with them on the streets, and we will be a city where nature and the city are more united too. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. I hope you can hear okay. The microphone's working. I'm Catarina Lorenzo. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Salvador, Bahia, and I'm part of the Children for Nature Fellowship with Instituto Alana. And being in this panel for me brings me a lot of joy, because every single time when I talk about my activism story, I give emphasis to my family and how they were key to bring me the mindfulness of how taking care of nature is taking care of ourselves and letting me connect with nature and become an activism. But because this table is of moms, I do want to emphasize the role that my mom played and still plays in my life today, because I wouldn't be the activist that I am today without her. I wouldn't have the empowerment that I have today without a strong woman that showed me that it doesn't matter my age, it doesn't matter my gender, it doesn't matter from where we come from. If we dream and we want to reach something, we can do it. And she was the one who guided me, not only to take action for me, but she ensured that I could take action for myself, that I could get in spaces like COP30 today and be here with other children such as Taissa or the other Children for Nature fellows and take action for ourselves. Because I think it's important for us to have this intergenerational action. We have the mothers, but I think we have also understood that children have things to say and they want the space to say them. And that's why when I look at COP, I really want to see not only children being in these decision-making spaces, but children being seen and considered a primary consideration in every single one of the aspects, because we are a primary consideration, not only because we are already part of a big group that is already being affected directly by climate change, as we heard the stories that are happening in the Amazon and Rio Grande do Sul, and everything that climate change is already impacting on these children, but because we are also already part of the solution today, and we want to be understood and seen that way. Thank you. Woo.
So well said. I think I saw quite a few tears, and I felt the tears myself. Laís, please, over to you.
So I am Laís Fleury. I don't know, can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. I'm also a mom. I'm a mom of Alice, who is 14 years old, and Leah, that is 12 years old. But I also work for Alana, that is a global organization that is Brazilian-based, that ensure to guarantee the best interests and the children's rights, to protect children's rights. And my role here is really to make sure that this COP leaves a legacy to protect and guarantee the best interest for children to be to be a primary consideration in all the decisions and negotiations of climate change. We really want to make sure that this COP is going to bring the first decision and first resolution that protects children's rights. We want to make sure that education is at the center of the negotiations, and education is going to link nature, children, and resilience. And we really want to make sure that not only this presidency in COP, but the other COPs are going to have presidencies that are very child sensitive, that really make sure that listen to them and consider them in all decisions and negotiations that they are making. Because if this is the COP of the inclusion, it needs to be the COP that includes children. So let's make sure that this COP30 is going to be the COP for children. And this is going to be the legacy that the COP30 is going to leave for the other COP decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we have 30 seconds to close. So in closing, I'll just say thank you to these amazing women, mothers, kids, and young people. And please know that around the world, like I said, mums, dads, grandparents, with their children are stepping up to protect what we love, to call out the fossil fuel interests that continue to delay the transition that we all need to safe, clean, abundant, renewable energy, so that we can breathe clean air, we can live in balance with nature, because we are nature, as you said. And there are so many powerful stories that we need to tell around these solutions that are taking place. And here's to the power of love that parents have for their kids and for all kids. And please join our movement of parents and kids. And thank you very much for being here today.